guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to change the way the world eats. Guys, my name is Shurina. I'm a certified nutritionist, health nutrition, performance, flow coach, just someone who is very passionate about helping people, teaching people, helping people to learn how to use nutrition as a tool to look, feel, and do your absolute best. Because guys, nutrition is what we are made of. Every single cell in our body, every single chemical reaction, thought, emotion, action, it all depends on what we put on our plates every single day. And we can actually learn how to design the way we want to feel, how much energy we have, what kind of even personality or character we have, believe it or not. Because for example, to have certain personality traits, we need to have certain chemistry happen in our brain. And in order for that to happen, we need to consume certain foods. Usually we just follow the pattern, the habit that we learned maybe from our parents, or while growing up in other environment, maybe at school, that what our peers used to eat. And maybe then we went to university, maybe we moved out of our parents' house and we got married, and that's how our partners ate, and that's how we developed our new habits. Maybe we moved to a new country, right? And we don't notice those things because we are so much into our life, in our head, just going about our day. So we don't notice how changing our habits, our food habits affect our personality traits. And then we change and we're like, oh, and that happened. And we never connect the dots. We never think it was food. But a lot of times it is food. Because as you learn today, even not having one vitamin can be a difference between you feeling super pumped every day and ready to go after it, and barely feeling like getting up after hitting snooze button several times. The change in just one vitamin status can be that profound, guys. And my passion, my deepest passion, is to help bring nutrition education, nutrition as a tool into our education system, and just get it into as many people's hands as possible in the most simple, straightforward way, affordable and available anywhere. Guys, today we are talking about B6 vitamin, and you will get excited about this vitamin by the end of this episode. You'll understand exactly why you need to get your hands on as much of it as possible, especially from whole foods. Supplements sometimes are tricky for the body to handle, even though for B6 vitamin, not so much. Even if you consume more of it in supplements, doesn't seem to be negative effects, unless, I don't know, you really overdose by a lot, right? So, but I hope this fanatical approach is not going to happen, and we just learn how to increase our consumption of this vitamin for energy and motivation and feeling happy and better sleep. Vitamin B6. Let me tell you a little bit more about vitamin B6, what our body does with it. It is needed, for example, to release energy we store in the form of glycogen in our muscles, in our liver. So those stores carbohydrates that we eat, that blood glucose storage that we have in our muscles and in our liver, available to use for us when we exercise, when we do mental work, when we need energy for other purposes. Now, the process of release of that energy stored in the form of glycogen, for that we need B6. So basically, if we don't have B6 vitamin, if we are deficient in it, the process is not going to be as effective. And so you might have stored carbohydrates in your body, in your muscles, in your liver, but you're not able to use them. And that's bad news, because your brain will sense, we can't use that energy and there is not enough, so we need to eat and need more carbohydrates immediately. right? And then you overshoot, and a lot of it is going to go to fat storage. Like, so many things can go wrong when the processes that are supposed to happen in your body, they cannot happen because you are deficient in any vitamin. And a little bit later in this episode, you're going to learn where to eat this B6 vitamin. It's not that difficult, but because of such a diverse diet culture these days, and because there are so many different ways of eating available to us, and no education on how to eat a balanced diet, because of all these different factors and diet fads, go vegan, go carnivore, go keto, go whatever, go on some mono diet or some crazy protocol that doesn't actually cover any essential vitamins or minerals, or some, but not all of them. Because of all these factors, what happens a lot of times, our nutritional status, the balance of our diet is compromised, and we just don't consume what we need to be consuming, like vitamin B6, for example. And then these things happen. And then some people think, well, I'm carbohydrate intolerant because each time I eat carbohydrates, I start storing fat. Well, maybe that's because your body cannot use those carbohydrates that you eat because you lack some vitamins that are needed to process those carbohydrates. Vitamin B1, for example, is also heavily involved in processing carbohydrates as energy, making it into energy, right? But today we're speaking about B6 and how when we store carbohydrates in a form of glycogen, we need to release it for our body to be able to use it. And for that, we need B6 vitamins. So B6 contributes to your available energy status. Then B6 is also needed to make hemoglobin, this molecule in red blood cells that carry oxygen all around our body to our brain. We need oxygen in every single cell of our body to make energy. And when we don't get enough hemoglobin, we don't get enough oxygen nowhere, and we don't get energy. And brain is especially sensitive to oxygen, to blood flow, to nutrients. So you might experience fatigue, lethargy, no motivation, depression or anxiety states, just lack of energy in general. And we need energy for everything. And so when you don't have enough of it, you're gonna feel apathetic, not energetic, not feeling zest for life, not interested in life. You might develop anemia in severe cases of B6 deficiency. So in that chemical reaction, we need B6, to make hemoglobin and then carry oxygen all around. And that contributes directly to your energy status. Again, without oxygen, there is no energy. So B6 is very important for that too. Then we get a very important function of B6 vitamin, creation of neurotransmitters, or those chemical molecules that our nerve cells use to communicate between each other and with the rest of the body, different organs and tissues and muscles, etc. So we need B6 to make neurotransmitters, those messengers. Neurotransmitters like dopamine, like serotonin. Dopamine, the molecule of more, of drive, of motivation, of getting after things, of feeling like you have what it takes to get after this reward that you put in front of you as a goal. Serotonin, needed for proper sleep, mood, appetite. Serotonin is well-being, sense of well-being. And in order for us to feel balanced, like we have enough motivation, but we are also not crazy to go for instant gratification of, just more. We need a balance of that dopamine and serotonin. That is enough. We are well. So we go after things, but we also know how to delay things and not being, rushing after reward, right? So we need the balance of dopamine and serotonin, and B6 is directly involved in making both of those. So we need certain proteins for dopamine, L-tyrosine, for serotonin, tryptophan, but we also need B6 to convert those into actual neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin. So As you can see, B6 is very important, and you can even say that B6 is involved in making mental energy. So you drive your motivation. It does feel like energy, even though it's not directly related to your energy status. In some books, they call it body budget. All right, so B6, important for your physical, for your mental energy. Where can we eat it? Not that difficult, but again, because of this vegan propaganda and then all kinds of other diets where people decide to not eat certain food groups, because of all of that, many people end up being deficient, and not so many people realize that supplements are actually quite good, and they can really make you feel much, much better. And if there is no downside, why not, right? So I do recommend go whole foods first, because whole foods are not just about one specific nutrient. There is a whole range of them, and we are yet to understand how holistically all whole foods work, everything together. So whole foods, B6 vitamin. Let's go whole food first. One of the richest source per bite or per serving, salmon. Salmon is like a really great treat for our brain, omega-3s, but then there is also protein to make dopamine and other neurotransmitters. And then we have B6 vitamin that is important for all these energy functions. So salmon, about 6 ounces, 180 grams is about 96% of it. With B6 vitamin, it seems that when we cook our proteins, some like 20-30% might be lost. So I do recommend to eat more, especially if you are already experiencing fatigue, tiredness, and not that energetic and driven. So always eat more. I would recommend for at least 100% requirement covered in foods. And why not supplement, right? But salmon, 180 grams, 6 ounces, about 95%, 96. Chicken, the second best, chicken and turkey breast, about 90%, 6 ounces, 180 grams. Then we have the third place is taken by lean pork and lean beef. Lean part is important because B6 is in a lean part of the meat, not the fatty. So the fattier the cut, the less B6 it's going to have. So lean pork, lean beef, about 50% per 6 ounces, 180 grams. So we have salmon, chicken and turkey breast, and then we have pork and beef. Plant-based sources. B6 is present in plant-based sources too in quite good amounts. The problem with B6 and plant-based sources, just like for vitamin A, we have animal version and we have plant-based version. And in order for our body to be able to use B6, we need to convert plant-based version into animal-based version that we can actually use in our body. And for that conversion, we also need another B vitamin, and we need to have a healthy liver that does the conversion. Assuming you have healthy liver in your body, B2 vitamin, it's found most abundantly in organ meats like liver, right? And so if you don't eat that, and if you don't take B supplements, converting B6 from plant-based sources might be a real issue. So supplements might be a solution for that. But let's get back to plant-based sources. If you were to convert effectively plants for B6 vitamin, for about 35%, you'd need to eat a cup of potatoes or sweet potatoes. For about 30%, one big banana. Also one avocado, medium avocado, and we get 1 ounce of pistachios, would be about 28%. So pistachios for B6. Let's recap. So the richer sources in B6 vitamin from plant-based kingdom that again need to be converted into animal-based version. So we have potatoes, a cup, about 35%, big banana, medium avocado, about 30%, and we have a big handful, 1 ounce of pistachios, that's about 28%. So what I would recommend, eat your chicken or salmon or pork or beef, then eat maybe a banana, some sweet potato, maybe some avocado, and focus on that B6 vitamin, because as you can see, it is really heavily involved in energy creation processes and also in creating these very important neurotransmitters. One of the most important ones, dopamine and serotonin. Imbalances in both will cause a lot of problems with your mental health and also perceived physical state, like fatigue or not being willing to do hard stuff that might be perceived as physical lack of energy, but that might be actually caused by inability of your body to make these important neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin, in your brain. So B6, very important. The richer sources, we have salmon, we have chicken and turkey breast. Then the second one, we have lean pork and beef. From plant-based kingdom, we have potatoes, sweet potatoes, bananas, avocados, and pistachios. And if you supplement, do supplement. There are good supplements. B complex is not that complicated, except maybe for folic acid and niacin, but today we're not talking about them. So do get the best B complex vitamin supplement available. I highly recommend it. Important for many energy creation processes in the body and brain, and also for your mental health and states. Be complex and eat some salmon, chicken, beef, pork, bananas, avocados, all the amazing, delicious foods for B6 vitamin and more energy, especially if you're feeling tired, fatigued, unmotivated, having troubles sleeping, your mood is all over the place, your appetite is all over the place, might be due to B6 deficiency and how indirectly it affects your neurotransmitters and your energy status. And that's it for today, guys. Today we talked about energy, mental and physical, and how just one vitamin deficiency can cause this cascade of chemical reactions that create this low energy, low motivations. They just one vitamin, and we have, to our knowledge, 30 plus essential vitamins and minerals, and they all work as a team, guys. And that's why it is important to figure out a balanced diet and at least once get in touch with a nutrition professional to make sure that you on a regular basis do consume a balanced diet. At least once, you gotta do it to build your patterns around it and to understand where you get whatever you need to get from your diet. That's it for today, guys. Please do share this episode. Please share this episode with as many people as possible, because that's going to help people to feel better and do better. And, my purpose in life is to be useful to other people with whatever I'm good at, right? And I think for all of us, being useful and helping each other, it's something that brings joy to all of us, sense of meaning, and just makes life more joyful, purposeful, meaningful, and good. So share this episode to help other people. And then if you have any questions, if you need any advice on anything, please do reach out. If you do need to figure out your balanced diet, please also do reach out. If you need to optimize your brain to feel your absolute freaking best every single day on demand when you need it, please also do reach out. And guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.